So one of the best feelings is coming home to car parts. And today's got my ISR LS240 headers. Nice. So lately, I've been getting a lot more car parts in. Today I got my LS1 headers from ISR. Behind me I've got a bunch of GK Tech stuff. On the desk I have some more stuff. And out in the garage I do have a few more things, and I'm waiting on a few more packages today. So I should have a lot more content coming. So as of right now, let's open up the ISR headers. So just from a quick glance at these headers, they do look extremely clean. The welds on them are really good quality. I mean, I got what I expected from ISR. I've had their downpipes and stuff like that on my SR, and they were pretty good. And so we'll see how these end up fitting on the 240 now. I'll probably go outside and mock them up real quick just to mock them up, and maybe mess around with my hydro a little bit. So I'll see you soon. So my only concern is that the headers aren't going to clear the back end of the starter. If you can see it down there, it goes all the way back right about here, and that's about the only thing that I'm worried about with these headers, but we'll throw them on and see if we can clear it. So the ISR headers do not fit with the Z32 transmission. The reason being is on the T56 transmission, the starter is facing this way, and it's just got too much bulk on the end on this end. Unloading my wheels. Alright, so I figured I would just shave down a little bit of the corner on the starter, and it seems as if the headers might fit now, because this came out pretty far and I was able to shave that rough edge down, and that's what's hitting on the actual header itself. So let's check that out. So it's dark as shit now, but it gets dark really quick in New Jersey now. But with the Z32 trans, it's, even though I shaved off a little bit off the starter, there's maybe about a 1/4 inch or so before I could get that last bolt lined up. So I figure I could probably hammer some of the actual pipe itself out, and that should fix that. But it being dark, I'm sure people are gonna have an attitude problem if I start slamming on fucking steel at this time. So I'll probably do that sometime either tomorrow or later this week. So as you can see, I decided to hammer out that little bit that I needed to clear the starter. But with them installed, there's very, very, very little clearance between the actual frame rails and the headers themselves. But other than that, it's a pretty clean install. Other than the fact that I guess these headers aren't made for the Z32 transmission, so it doesn't really clear the starter, and you have to hammer out a bit right before the O2 bung. But got this one in. Probably not gonna do the driver's side today. I'll probably just do that another day, and I won't even film it because I got to drop the drive shaft for it. But that one should be a lot easier because that one's got tons of clearance on that side other than the drive shaft itself. But that's about it for these headers. They look good. But on the bright side, not only did my headers come in today, but some of my drift wheels that I'm going to be using came in today. I picked them up because they had a nice little concave to them, and they were slightly cheap, well, fairly cheap, and they'll serve its purpose for me to do my 5-lug swap coming up soon. So that's good news on these. So I'm gonna pick up today where I left off yesterday. As you know, if you've gotten this far, I put in the passenger side. Had to do some clearancing on that with the starter and the actual header itself. Driver side went a lot easier. I had to pull the steering column. When I pulled the steering column, the bushing that was inside of it, the old rubber bushing, was shot. So I had to order a new one. I had that overnetted. That came in this morning. I'm gonna throw that in, put that back in, call it a day on that, and possibly weld together some of my hydro. So let's check this out. So out with the old one and in with the solid one. After installing that new bushing, it's pretty tight, and those are the headers. Driver's side fits a lot tighter than the passenger side does, but there is still a nice little gap right there between the frame rail and the headers themselves. But all in all, I'd say it's a pretty good buy, especially for the price of them. They look awesome. Nice. So I'd like to say, all in all, the ISR headers for the LS swap, it's a pretty straightforward install. I myself ran into a couple little issues, nothing major. The clearancing on the passenger side had to get done, and the bushing on the steering column on the driver's side. I'd recommend anybody doing this swap or that hasn't touched their steering column ever, might as well just throw the bushing in while you're there. It's probably a pain in the ass to do it with the engine in it, so get that done. And all in all, I'd say I'd recommend this to anybody doing an LS swap with their 240. The headers fit awesome, and eventually we'll hear what they sound like. So thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time.